Kola Adeyemi grew up in the lap of luxury, the only son of Alhaji Adeyemi, a prominent Yoruba businessman. The Adeyemi family was a household name, respected and envied for their vast wealth and influence. However, being the sole heir came with crushing expectations. From a young age, Kola knew that his life was not entirely his own. His father groomed him to take over the family business, while his mother dreamt of him marrying the perfect bride who would secure their family's legacy. Kola, however, was not particularly interested in the scripted life his parents envisioned for him. Though he was hardworking and loyal to his family, he craved freedom. But in his culture, duty often came before personal desires. At 30, Kola found himself increasingly cornered by his parents, who insisted it was time for him to settle down. "You're no longer a boy, Kola," his mother would say, her voice laced with urgency. "We need a daughter-in-law, and our family needs grandchildren." Though reluctant, Kola knew that resisting his parents was futile. His family had sacrificed too much for their wealth and status, and he didn't want to be the one to dishonor their legacy. As a dutiful son, he agreed to meet Omowunmi, the woman his parents had handpicked for him. Omowunmi came from a prominent Lagos family. She was beautiful, intelligent, and well-spoken, everything a Yoruba mother could ask for in a daughter-in-law. When Kola met her, he was struck by her elegance and poise, though he didn't feel an emotional connection. She was polite and respectful, but something about her felt distant. To Kola's parents, however, she was perfect. "This is the kind of woman who will elevate our family's name," Alhaji Adeyemi said approvingly. "She's everything we've been praying for." Kola felt trapped. Though he didn't love Omowunmi, he couldn't deny that she was an ideal match for someone in his position. His parents were ecstatic when he agreed to the marriage, and preparations began immediately. The wedding was a grand affair, attended by Lagos elite. Kola and Omowunmi exchanged vows in a ceremony that was more about their family's union than their own. As they stood together, Kola couldn't help but feel a pang of regret. Was this really the life he wanted? After the wedding, it became clear that their marriage was more a partnership than a love story. Omowunmi was polite and dutiful but emotionally distant. Kola tried to break the ice, but their conversations rarely went beyond surface-level topics. The first few months of Kola and Omowunmi's marriage were filled with formalities, family dinners, and public appearances. They presented united fronts to the world, but behind closed doors, cracks were forming. Omowunmi was distant, preferring to spend her time scrolling through her phone or attending social gatherings without Kola. Kola, on the other hand, was trying to adapt to married life. He hoped their relationship would improve with time, but the more he tried to connect, the more Omowunmi pulled away. "I just need my space," she would say whenever Kola suggested they spend time together. The couple's lack of intimacy didn't go unnoticed by Kola's parents. His mother often dropped hints about grandchildren, which only added to the tension. Kola felt torn between his duty to his family and his growing frustration with Omowunmi. Omowunmi's behavior became increasingly unpredictable. She started coming home late, sometimes after midnight, with vague excuses about work or social events. Kola confronted her one evening. "Omowunmi, this isn't normal. We're married, but it feels like I'm living with a stranger," he said, his voice laced with frustration. Omowunmi shrugged. "I told you, Kola, I need space. Marriage doesn't mean I have to lose myself." Kola was stunned by her indifference. He realized that their marriage was nothing more than a facade. Despite his growing anger, he decided to stay quiet for the sake of his parents and their reputation. One evening, Kola came home to find Omowunmi gone. A single note lay on the dining table. "Kola, I can't do this anymore. I need space to figure out what I want. Please understand." The words hit Kola like a thunderbolt. How could she live without even talking to him? He felt a mix of anger, humiliation, and sadness. When his parents found out, his mother was furious. "What will people say, Kola? How could you let this happen?" she demanded. Alhaji Adeyemi tried to console his son, but the damage was done. Kola's failed marriage became the subject of gossip among their social circle. For months, Kola struggled to come to terms with Omowunmi's departure. He threw himself into work, trying to drown out the whispers and judgmental stares. His friends urged him to move on, but the sting of betrayal lingered. Meanwhile, his mother continued to pressure him to remarry. "You're not getting any younger, Kola," she said. "We need to fix this situation before it becomes a permanent stain on our family name." But Kola was in no mood to entertain the idea of another marriage. "I'm done with this," he told his father one evening. "I just want to focus on my life and the business." Kola's life became a monotonous routine of work and solitude. He avoided social gatherings, tired of the pitying looks and unsolicited advice. His mother's attempts to introduce him to new prospects were met with silence. In his quiet moments, Kola often wondered what he had done wrong. Was he too cold? Too demanding? The unanswered questions gnawed at him, but he vowed never to let anyone control his emotions again. The years passed, and Kola settled into a life of work and occasional leisure. His parents still brought up the subject of marriage, but he skillfully dodged their attempts. "I'll marry when I'm ready," he would say, though deep down, he wasn't sure he ever would be. Despite his wealth and success, Kola felt a void in his life. He missed the companionship he once hoped for, but fear of another betrayal kept him guarded. One evening, at the insistence of a close friend, Kola attended an art exhibition in Victoria Island. It was there he met Aisha, a reserved artist whose work immediately caught his attention. Her paintings were a mix of vibrant colors and intricate patterns, reflecting a unique blend of cultures. Aisha was nothing like the women Kola usually encountered. She was soft-spoken, humble, and seemed uninterested in his wealth. Intrigued, Kola struck up a conversation, and for the first time in years, he felt a genuine connection. As their relationship deepened, Kola began to admire Aisha's resilience and creativity. She wasn't like the women his family had introduced him to. She was grounded, independent, and deeply passionate about her work. Aisha, too, found herself drawn to Kola's kindness and determination. Though she harbored a secret about her health, she couldn't help but dream of a future with him. When Kola introduced Aisha to his parents, their reaction was far from warm. "A northern girl. Kola, think about our culture and traditions," his mother said disapprovingly. Kola's father was less vocal but clearly shared his wife's concerns. "Marriage isn't just about love, son. It's about family and legacy," he said. But Kola was unwavering. "I've made my decision," he told them. "Aisha makes me happy, and that's all that matters." For the first time in his life, Kola defied his parents' wishes. He knew marrying Aisha wouldn't be easy, but he was determined to follow his heart. His parents tried to dissuade him, but Kola stood firm. Aisha, aware of the tension, worried about being a source of conflict. "Are you sure about this, Kola?" she asked one evening. "I don't want to come between you and your family." Kola took her hands in his. "You're not coming between us. You're the best thing that's happened to me." Kola and Aisha married in a modest ceremony, attended only by close friends and a few supportive family members. It wasn't the grand affair his parents had once envisioned, but Kola didn't care. For the first time in years, Kola felt truly content. As he looked into Aisha's eyes, he silently vowed to protect their love, no matter the challenges ahead. Kola and Aisha's first months together were a dream. Free from the weight of societal expectations, they explored life as a couple. Kola, who had always been practical, found himself drawn to Aisha's creative world. She, in turn, admired his steadfastness and sense of humor. They spent evenings in her studio, where she explained the stories behind her paintings, and weekends exploring hidden parts of Lagos. For Kola, this simplicity was a refreshing change from his life of luxury. He felt he had finally found someone who saw him as a person, not as an heir to wealth. But beneath the surface, Aisha wrestled with a secret she had hidden for years.